Hello everyone. Very good evening. Am I audible? So we are beginning up with the second MCQ session for especially for ICSE 10 standard, the MCQs on the chapter photosynthesis. I've already uploaded the first one. So this is the second one for especially for the ICSE students. So let's start solving. Students, if you have any demand for a particular chapter, you have any query regarding anything, you may certainly post it up in the comment box so that we can surely help you. So I hope that you have already watched the earlier video so that you can revise up with us, and Intelletics definitely promises you that we would try to give you maximum on every chapter. So let's solve many MCQs so that we become much more efficient in this. So here we are. We start with question number 31. In the cycle of energy and nutrient flow in the ecosystem, the nutrient flow dash A is cyclic, B is non-cyclic, C ends at the decomposers, D ends at the carnivores. So please answer. In the cycle of energy and nutrient flow in the ecosystem, the nutrient flow dash. And the perfect answer for this question is A is cyclic. So the nutrient flow is cyclic. You might have heard about the food cycle, the food web, right? So that means that the energy does not get stuck up here, saturated here. It doesn't stay in a particular level, okay? But it is passed on from the producers to the consumers, and it gets back. Of course, not all energy gets back or returns back to the sun. No doubt it is a unidirectional flow of energy. Coming to the next question, number 32. Which of the following occurs among the biotic components in an ecosystem? A. Flow of energy. B. Cycling of materials. C. Consumers. D. Both A and B. So, which of these occur among the biotic components in an ecosystem? Well, the answer for this question is D, both A and B. It is both flow of energy and the cycling of materials that are involved in the biotic components of an ecosystem. As we know that any ecosystem, we have producers, consumers, decomposers. So the energy would flow, right? So flow of energy is certainly correct. And how does the energy flow? So it flows in the form of food. Food consists of all these nutrients. The cycling of the materials here indirectly refers to the nutrients that are supplied from one level to another. Coming to the next question, number 33. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide from the air enters the leaves of a plant through dash. A. Chlorophyll. B. Guard cells. C. Stomata. D. Lenticels. So during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide from the air enters the leaves of a plant through dash. Quite an easier question. Well, the answer for this question is C, stomata. So, stomata are the openings through which carbon dioxide from the air enters the leaves. Coming to the next question, number 24. Microbial conversion of ammonia to nitrate is termed as dash. A, ammonification. B, nitrification. C, denitrification. D, nitrogen fixation. Now you may feel that this question is not really directly related with photosynthesis, but then it is, because ultimately these nutrients, the nitrates, are going to be utilized by the plants, because plants need nitrogen and they can utilize nitrogen only in the form of nitrites and nitrates. So indirectly it is related with the plants and hence with photosynthesis. Okay, so what should be the answer for this question? Microbial conversion of ammonia to nitrate is termed as dash. And the perfect answer for this question is B, nitrification. Now, coming to the next, before going for the next year, you have something to remember. Microbial conversion of ammonia to nitrate is termed as nitrification, and it is carried out by nitrifying bacteria like Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. So students, you can note down these points, and make up your own synopsis. This will prepare you for your so-called MCQ exams. Question number 35. The most important pigment necessary for photosynthesis is dash. A, keratin. B, xanthophyll. C, chlorophyll. D, anthocyanin. It's quite an easier question to solve. So tell me, which is the most important pigment necessary for photosynthesis? Well, the answer for this question is C, chlorophyll. So it is chlorophyll which is essential for photosynthesis. No doubt all these other pigments also have a role to play, that is keratin and xanthophyll, which are collectively called as the carotenoids. Anthocyanin does not have any role in photosynthesis, let me tell you. Okay, so keratin and xanthophyll are called as the accessory pigments or the antennae pigments, which help chlorophyll pigment for transferring out the energy from the photon to its electron. You might be aware it is chlorophyll A, which is the reaction center, without which photosynthesis is impossible. So chlorophyll pigments can trap the photons from the sunlight and use it for the synthesis of starch. Now please remember, photons जो है from the sunlight, they carry the energy, and this energy is harnessed by chlorophyll pigment along with the help of keratin and xanthophyll, and this energy from the photon is transferred to its electron. These electrons travels through different electron acceptors, and in the light reaction, what is formed is ATP and NADPH plus H plus, and this is collectively called as the reducing power, which is utilized in the dark reaction for the fixation of carbon dioxide, that is reduction of carbon dioxide so as to form glucose, and this glucose later on is converted into starch. Plants store the excess of carbohydrates in the form of starch, whereas animals store the excess of carbohydrates in the form of glycogen. Now, the next question, question number 36. Which of the following statements are not false? That is, you have to find out the true statement. A, green plants are consumers. B, algae are autotrophs. C, photosynthesis occurs only in cells containing chloroplasts. D, both B and C. Which of these statements are not false. Come on. Students, you expected to answer. Okay. Kiran, Ria, Neeta, Kunal, Lina, Santosh, Sandeep. Come on, answer. Well, the answer for this question is D, both B and C. So both of these statements are not false, that is, they are true statements. Coming to the next question, number 37. Which of the following pigment forms the reaction center? A. Chlorophyll A. B. Chlorophyll B. C. Keratin. D. Xanthophyll. So these are the photosynthetic pigments which among these acts as a reaction center. Just now I have given you a hint of the same in the earlier question, so it shouldn't be a problem for you to solve. Well, the answer for this question is A, chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A is the pigment that forms the reaction center. Now, what is meant by this reaction center? A reaction center is nothing but the one which has the capacity to transfer all the energy that has been harnessed from the photons to an electron. The remaining pigments do harness some energy, they do absorb solar energy, but they're not capable in transferring this energy to the electron and release it. So even though the other pigments have important role to play in harnessing the solar energy, however, they do not act as a reaction center, but they assist chlorophyll A and act as antennae pigments, whereas chlorophyll A is the only reaction center. Now you might be knowing that there are two types of chlorophyll A. I mean, depending on that, we have two photosystems. Photosystem 1, which gets activated at a wavelength of 700 nanometers, and photosystem 2, which gets activated at a wavelength of 680 nanometers. Okay, so these are the two types of the photosystems, and they get activated, that is, they release out the electron at two different wavelengths of light energy. Coming to the next question, number 38. The functions of stomata are dash. A. Transpiration and translocation. B. Transpiration and exchange of gases. C. Exchange of gases and excretion. D. Photosynthesis and translocation. So what are the functions done by the stomata? Well, the answer for this question is B. Stomata helps in transpiration as well as exchange of gases. Coming to the next question, number 39. As a result of photolysis, dash is released out into the atmosphere. A. Sulfur. B. Oxygen. C. Water. D. Carbon dioxide. Quite an easier question. Photolysis of water. You know what is photolysis, right? So what is released out into the atmosphere as a result of photolysis? Well, the answer for this question is oxygen. See, photolysis is nothing but the breakdown of the water molecule in presence of sunlight. Okay, so you have to remember when H2O is broken down, it's oxygen that is released out into the atmosphere. Okay, coming to the next question, number 40. What do the numbers 1 and 2 of photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 denote? I repeat, what do the numbers 1 and 2 of photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 denote? A. the order of function during the light reaction. B, the order of arrangement in the photosystem. C, the sequence of their discovery. D, the sequence in which they work together. So what do the numbers 1 and 2 of photosystem 1 and 2 denote or indicate? And the answer for this question is C. It is the sequence of their discovery based on which we use 1 and 2 for photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Coming to the next question, number 41. The raw materials for photosynthesis are dash. A, carbon dioxide and oxygen. B, water and nitrates. C, carbon dioxide and water. D, minerals and nitrogen. Quite an easier question. You can just remember the equation of photosynthesis and easily answer this. So what are the raw materials for photosynthesis? Well, the answer for this question is C. The raw materials for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide and water. Now, coming to the next question, number 42. Which of the following is not the phase of light reaction? A, water splitting. B, oxygen release. C, carbon dioxide release. D, light absorption. So which of the following is not the phase of light reaction? Well, the answer for this question is C, carbon dioxide release. It is not the phase of light reaction. In the light reaction, there is photolysis of water, that is splitting of water molecule due to the solar energy, resulting into release of oxygen, and also it absorbs light. So A, B, and D do take place in the light reaction. However, carbon dioxide is not released in light reaction. Coming to the next question, number 43. Which of the following is involved in the cyclic photophosphorylation? A, only photosystem 1. B, only photosystem 2. C, both photosystem 1 and 2. D, P700 and P680. Well, the answer for this question is A. Cyclic photophosphorylation involves only photosystem 1, whereas both photosystem 1 and 2 are involved in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Friends, you might be knowing both cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation are a part of light reaction. Coming to the next question, number 44. Which of the following is not a net product of non-cyclic photophosphorylation? And your options are A, ATP, B, ADP, C, NADPH, D, oxygen. It's quite an easier question again. Well, the answer for this question is B, ADP. ADP is not the product of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. In cyclic photophosphorylation, there is formation of only ATP, whereas non-cyclic photophosphorylation involves the formation of ATP, NADPH, as well as oxygen. Oxygen is certainly released during non-cyclic photophosphorylation because it involves photolysis of water. Now, coming to the next question number to be here. The first pair indicates the relationship between the two terms. Complete the second pair accordingly. Water and mineral salts is xylem. Prepare food dash. And your options are A. Xylem vessels, B. Sclerenchyma, C. Phloem, D. Parenchyma. Well, the answer for this question is quite easy. It is phloem. You might be knowing that xylem is basically the water conducting tissue, whereas phloem is the food conducting tissue. Now, the question number 46. During photosynthesis in plants, oxygen is released from dash. A. Carbon dioxide, B. Water, C. Chlorophyll, D. Soil minerals. ऑक्सीजन is certainly released in photosynthesis, right? So ये जो ऑक्सीजन photosynthesis के दरमियान रिलीज होता है, ये कहाँ से आता है? This is what the question means. And the answer to this question is B, water. You know there is photolysis of water, right? And photolysis of water results in the release of oxygen. Coming to the next question, number 47. Chloroplasts are found in dash. A. All plants. B. Green plants only. C. All fungi and green plants. D. All bacteria and plants. So chloroplasts are found in dash. And the correct answer for this question is B. Green plants only. In fact, chloroplast, that is the reason why we call it as a green plastid, right? So it is present in the green plants. Question number 48. Which of the following replaces the electron that moves from photosystem? And your options are A. Carbon dioxide, B. Water, C. Chlorophyll, D. Glucose. So, which of the following replaces the electron that moves from the photosystem? And the correct answer for this question is B, water. Once again, let me remind you, it is photolysis of water, right? So, when H2O is broken down to H plus and OH minus, H plus is accepted by NADP and it gets reduced to NADPH plus H plus, and OH minus releases electrons which are accepted by the second photosystem. And after the release of 4 electrons, what remains is OH, which gets converted into 2H2O and O2. Okay, so it releases out electrons that are accepted by photosystem. It's a part of non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So water is split into H plus, oxygen and electrons. This gives oxygen one of the net products of photosynthesis and the electrons. These electrons are used to replace those removed from the photosystems. Now, coming to the next question, number 49. Which of the following is the first electron donor in non-cyclic photophosphorylation? A. P700, B. Water, C. P680, D. NADP. So what should be the answer for the same? Think over. Which of the following is the first electron donor in non-cyclic photophosphorylation? And the correct answer is B. It is water. It is an electron donor. Coming to the next question, number 50. Which of the following statements are not true? Are not true, that is false. A. The rate of photosynthesis continues to rise as long as the intensity of light increases. B. The outside atmospheric temperature has no effect on the rate of photosynthesis. C. If you immerse a leaf intact on the plant in ice cold water, it would continue to photosynthesize in bright sunshine. D. All of the above. So, which of these statements are not true? Well, the answer for this question is D. All of these are not true. Now let us understand this. Say, photosynthesis no doubt increases with the light intensity, but only up to a certain limit. And after that, the rate of photosynthesis, it gets stabilized. So this statement is thereby not correct for this reason. Okay, coming to the next, the atmospheric temperature is an important external factor affecting photosynthesis. The rate of photosynthesis increases up to the temperature of 35 degrees, but after which the rate of photosynthesis falls and it stops after 40 degrees. Then ice cold water will hamper the process of photosynthesis in the immersed leaf, even if there is sufficient sunshine, because the temperature is an important factor for the rate of photosynthesis. And that is the reason why here all these three statements are not true. Question number 51. Which of the following statements is true? A. Destarching of the leaves of a potted plant can occur only at night. B. If a plant is kept in bright light all the 24 hours for a few days, the dark reaction, that is biosynthetic phase, will fail to occur. C. Photosynthesis is considered to be as a process supporting all life on earth. D. Both A and C. So which of these statements is correct? Well, the answer is C. Now let us understand. See, for destarching, the potted plant can be kept in a dark room for 24 to 48 hours. There is no start point or end point in the carbon cycle. So the carbon is constantly circulated between the atmosphere and the living organisms. Okay, so destarting of the leaves of a potted plant can occur only in night, cannot be a correct statement. Okay, coming to the next, if a plant is kept in bright light all the 24 hours for few days, the dark reaction, that is the biosynthetic phase, will continue to occur because the dark reaction is independent of light and it occurs simultaneously with the light dependent reaction. Okay, so even this statement can't be correct. So among all these, the correct statement is photosynthesis is considered to be as a process supporting all life on Earth. Question number 52. To test the leaf for starch, the leaf is boiled in water to dash. A. To isolate the chloroplast. B. To release carbon dioxide. C. Kill the cells. D. To release oxygen trapped in the leaves. So to test the leaf for starch, the leaf is boiled in water. Why? The answer for this question is C. To kill the cells. So to test the leaf for starch, the leaf is first boiled in water in order to kill the cells. Question number 53. The first pair indicates the relationship between the two terms. Complete the second pair accordingly. Producers, autotrophs, consumers, dash. And your options are A. Heterotrophs, B. Plants, C. Primary producers, D. Dependents. Quite an easier question to solve. And the correct answer for this question is A. Heterotrophs. Friends, autotrophs, auto is self, trophism is feeding. So autotrophs are those organisms which prepare their own food, whereas consumers are heterotrophs, that is, they depend on other living organisms for obtaining their food or energy. Now, these consumers can be of different levels, like primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, top level consumers. But all of these, bottom line, are heterotrophs. Question number 54. In the experiment to test the leaf for starch, the leaf is first boiled in water and then boiled in dash to remove dash. We already had talked about it is boiled in water to kill the cells, but after that, it is boiled in dash to remove dash. And your options are A. Alcohol, carbon dioxide. B. Kerosene, chlorophyll. C. Methylated spirit, chlorophyll. D. Methylated spirit, starch. So what should be the answer for this question? The answer for this question is C. So in the experiment to test the leaf for starch, the leaf is first boiled in water and then boiled in methylated spirit to remove chlorophyll. Question number 55. When iodine is poured over the treated leaf, the region which does not contain starch appears dash in color. A. Blue black. B. Brown. C. Black. D. Light green. So, what should be the answer for this question? The answer is B. Brown. See, the question says the region which does not contain starch, because the one that contains starch generally appears bluish black in color, whereas the one which does not contain starch appears brown in color. Question number 56. Photolysis is the splitting of water molecules in presence of light into dash. And your options are A. Proton, B. Electron, C. Oxygen, D. All of these. This is slightly confusing question. And the correct answer for this question is D, all of these. Do not forget it releases out hydrogen, which represents a proton and an electron, along with the release of oxygen. So here there is most a possibility that the students may take for oxygen, but the correct answer is all of these. Question number 57. The guard cells dash A. Regulate the opening and closing of stomata. B. Regulate the entry of carbon dioxide through the stomata. C. Regulate the entry of water through the stomata. D. Both A and B. So what is the function done by the guard cells? And the answer to this question is D, both A and B. So the guard cells not only regulate the opening and closing of stomata, but they also help in the entry of carbon dioxide through the stomata. See, water never enters the plant through the stomata. Remember this. Question number 58 is an assertion and reasoning type of a question. The assertion says the light can enter the leaves easily. Reason: cuticle that covers the leaves is transparent and waterproof, due to which light can penetrate easily. And your options are A. Both assertion and reason are true, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are true, but the reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. C. Assertion is true, but the reason is false. D. Both assertion and reason are false statements. And the perfect answer for this question is A. Both of these statements are correct, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Light can enter the leaves easily because the cuticle that covers the leaves is transparent and waterproof, due to which light can penetrate easily. Coming to the next question, number 59. It is necessary to place a plant in the dark before starting an experiment on photosynthesis as dash. A. Photosynthesis takes place in presence of sunlight. B. To find out the effect of sunlight on photosynthesis. C. To study dark reactions. D. Both A and B. And the perfect answer for this question is D. It is necessary to place a plant in the dark before starting an experiment on photosynthesis, as photosynthesis occurs in presence of sunlight, and by this we can find out the effect of sunlight on photosynthesis. Coming to the last question in this session, assertion and reasoning. Assertion: it is not possible to demonstrate respiration in green plants kept in sunlight. Reason: if kept in sunlight, the plants will perform all their processes in sunlight and we can't differentiate between them. And the options given are A. Both assertion and reason are true, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are true, but the reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. C. Assertion is true, but the reason is false. D. Both assertion and reason are false statements. So think over. It is not possible to demonstrate respiration in green plants kept in sunlight is assertion. And the reason given here is if kept in sunlight, the plants will perform all their processes in sunlight and we can't differentiate between them. And the correct answer for this question is A. Both assertion and reason are true, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. So, friends, enough for this session. We would continue later, okay? And thank you so much for being with me. Stay tuned. Please pass on a word about this with all your friends so that, more and more students get connected and all of them will be benefited by this. Your questions, your queries, your suggestions are most welcome. Intelletics definitely thanks you all for overwhelming response, and stay tuned with me for many more exciting chapters and many more exciting sessions. So keep studying. Happy learning.